Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hi ho everybody and welcome back to D Plus Us Weekly, Mitch. We are back, the show about the shows of Disney Plus, where we take a show and break it down episode by episode, week by week, for our enjoyment and yours. I'm your host, Griffin Denell Griffey D. Penn. With me as always, the amazing, the wonderful, the fantastic Mr. Mitch George. We're back to doing the weekly show.
This one feels like a fantastic throwback, and it's not going to be about the show because we're talking about a show. It's all about theme parks, which means we're not talking about TV. We're talking about theme parks, but that's okay because that's why we're here.
So, folks, a little bit of backstory since it's been so long. We do weekly episodes here on the show, breaking down whatever that's happening live on Disney Plus. Typically, it has been stuff like Hawkeye or National Treasure. Like these episodic shows.
Ahsoka. Wait, no, we didn't do that.
No, but during the writers and actors strike, we stopped doing it week by week because we weren't talking about new content. We are back to doing it, and it felt like a great way to start it back up with doing Behind the Attraction, because one of our previous series we did for this was the first season of Behind the Attraction, where
I think it might have actually been the first weekly series we did, wasn't it?
It's up there. It was one of them. I think What If was the first.
Okay, it was definitely in that realm.
But it's funny because like we had those first 10 episodes, and I don't think we barely talked about the show in any of them. These episodes are entirely just about the parks and like just us vibing and hanging out and having a good time. But we will be doing weekly episodes as well for Percy Jackson, the Olympians. When that comes out, you can go check out our trailer reaction right now to that. These are typically about half an hour, just us hanging out, having a good time, chatting about some really cool park stuff. So
Griffin, are we doing this instead of doing Ahsoka or Loki and catching up just because it lines up really nicely with the start of Percy Jackson?
No, we're doing those too. We just don't know when we're releasing them because we have to record them and timelines are weird.
Right.
No, we're trying our best here. Loki's going to be an episode of the main show.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is going to be a two-parter of weekly, but we just actually have to sit down and record that. I just gotta talk to Nick, or one of us has to talk to Nick. Yeah. So that's what's happening here. We're hanging out though today to talk about Behind the Attraction Season 2, Episode 1.
Can I quickly tangent? And I need realizing I need to put my phone into Do Not Disturb when we record these things.
It has been 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah,
go for it.
So I got a text from my mom. Hi, Mom. You're probably not watching this, but I'll say hi anyway. Putting us into a bit of a time capsule. Tonight is the Grey Cup. Griffin, do you know what the Grey Cup is?
No idea.
If anyone does, you are very Canadian, and I appreciate you. The Grey Cup is the trophy bestowed upon the champion in the Canadian Football League, which if it sounds like a C-tier NFL league, you'd be right. Fun fact. Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, actually played in the CFL for some time during NFL strikes, or just because they got cut. I don't remember which. But anyway, football, yeah. Somehow they booked Green Day to do the halftime show of this Canadian championship football game. And my mom texted me, Green Day is a pretty good band.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, they're Green Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that weird ass aside, we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Do Not Disturb going on.
Season 2, Episode 1 is all about Pirates of the Caribbean. All 4 versions across Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Disneyland Paris, and Shanghai Disneyland. Great ride. It is a classic. It is one that a lot of people consider to be the best ride at Disney. They would be wrong. It's Haunted Mansion, but it's certainly up
Pirates is up there. And it was interesting experiencing the California version of Pirates after having only ridden the Florida version. And this episode gets into it. It's really interesting, the mechanics of the ride existing to get you into the show building, which is actually outside the park. But I have an interesting story about this that's going to end really, really sadly, because I've told you about my Savi's workshop experience previously. I think we've probably talked about it on the show once or twice.
I think that's your Disney experience we've talked about more than anything else on the show.
So the precursor to that was we rode Pirates. So we got in line for Pirates. Like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Our reservation's in like 25 minutes. We'll get through this line, no problem. What could go wrong? It's like a 10-minute wait.
Nope.
Then we got on the ride. I kid you not. This is like a 15 to 20-minute ride once you're on the boat. And I was not ready for that. Because there's that real slow part through the Blue Bayou restaurant. I'm just like, oh, yeah, we got to get a move on. Like,
yeah, it is like 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It
felt like a lifetime.
In Disney World. In
what isn't it
Disneyland, it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It is a long ride. It's great. It really is. It is this wonderful showcasing of audio animatronics that they talk about in the show.
Mm.
Like, it really is like this big step forward for Disney. And it is like what set up like Pirates the way we know them today. This and that original Disney version of Treasure Island. Like, it really is fantastic and amazing, and I love it. It was so much more interesting in this episode, for me at least, to see the Paris and Shanghai stuff.
Okay, so I found the ride times. Disneyland, 15 minutes and 30 seconds ride time. Magic Kingdom Park and Walt Disney World, 8.5 minutes. Those are the fastest and the slowest of the 4 Pirates attractions.
Because Disneyland has all of this.
You want to guess which one is... Oh, but this also doesn't include the one in Shanghai. Never mind. I was going to make a fun aside, but it doesn't matter.
Because, yeah, there is, in Disneyland's version, it has the bayou, and then it has the abandoned pirate caves before it goes into the big battle scene.
Into the attraction itself.
Mm-hmm. And Disney World just doesn't have that. No. Which is funny because, like, some of the best scenes for me in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride are specific to Disneyland. Like,
it does have some of it. It's not as long, but there are a few of those scenes. And it does still have one drop because they felt like they needed to have it be a thrilling attraction at the time. But it doesn't feel like there's enough, as much ride there, certainly, as there is in California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that I always go back to is the, like, pirate skeleton holding the ship wheel.
Yeah.
With the wind blowing against him in Disneyland. It's not there in Disney World. And it's one of my favorite things in that entire ride. Like, it truly is amazing and fantastic. But, like, Disney just in general knows how to do pirates. And it's because of Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean is that first parks property that got outside of the parks and did wildfires. And Disney has been trying to chase that ever since with no avail. Like, I'm working on this video essay right now about the Disney Kingdom comic books, and it's about that Disney keeps trying to find this lightning in a bottle again, and it's just not there compared to like just how good this was. It's wild how good this was.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well looking at something like this that was originally conceived in the 60s. Or at least, like, conceived in the 50s and then kind of shelved for the World's Fair. But to see something like this come to fruition at the time and have it, this ride in its state stand the test of time over the last 40 plus years? No, 60 plus years? Almost 60 years? Is just incredible. And just goes to, it goes to show, and what was interesting too is we won't talk about it here. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about episode 2 about Big Thunder in a future episode. But there was some interesting dialogue there as well, of like understanding what guests were looking for when Walt Disney World opened. They wanted pirates, and when they went over to Paris or Tokyo, it's like, we want Magic Kingdom. What does that mean? It means we want pirates, and they got pirates because that is just a tentpole attraction for any Disney park at this point. And it's interesting to see how it's evolved over time. But that original design philosophy, that original approach, audio animatronics, smells, sounds, water effects. It
Pirates
holds up.
is it's one of those rides that is so perfectly Disney that it constantly surprises people that it's not a launch day attraction.
Yeah,
like
we were watching this. Carmen was surprised it wasn't opening day. Mm-hmm. Then I took her through the list of opening day attractions. Like, oh, we rode like 2 of those. I'm like, yeah, because there's only like 3 of them left.
Most of them are gone because they are very outdated and they get replaced with more interesting stuff, like we'll talk about next episode. Like, Pirates is one that stands the test of time, though. It is so good. Like, one of my favorite things that they talk about here, though, is how they make, even though they are virtually the same ride in this one, Magic Kingdom, and Paris, even though Paris does have the sword fight scene, which is really freaking cool.
I'm surprised they haven't just put that in the other attractions.
Yeah, you'd think, right? I guess they want to keep things a little bit different.
It gives you a reason to travel, like how I had originally planned our honeymoon to be in Paris, and then we ended up settling on California.
But I like how they changed the queue for all of them. Like, the Disneyland one is very much built in New Orleans Square, and it's very much New Orleans Square. New Orleans Square, the whole reason it exists is Pirates.
I absolutely love the way this queue is set up in Disneyland. I don't love that it overflows into New Orleans Square, but just it feels like this hole in the wall, right? Intentionally, which I think is really fun with the whole cool. Pirates motif to it.
And then it's also infuriating sometimes.
100%.
But that's any queue.
When you're standing out in the California sun for 45 minutes to an hour waiting for this attraction.
There's no queue line crueler though than the line for Mission Space. And I stand by that. No. I have stood in that line when it was like a 2-hour long wait. You think you're about to go inside, and then there's a courtyard that is hidden that they will send you into, and it's another like hour in that courtyard before you go inside.
There is no queue worse in all Disney parks that I have experienced than the queue for Slinky Dog Dash in Toy Story Land.
I think that's the worst. I'm saying the most cruel is Mission Space.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't see it coming. You don't see this extra hour-long wait, and it just hits you out of nowhere.
I mean, if you're smart and install the My Disney Experience app and, min-max your entire day, then, like me, you just decide not to ride Mission Space because you got COVID and you don't want to throw up all over somebody. But
or you go on
that's just my experience.
Or you go on the green one that has, like, 0 wait always.
Which is what we were planning on doing before I needed a 3-hour nap on our Epcot day.
Fair enough. Also, you had COVID, so fair.
Yeah, we hit what we had to hit, and then I had to not be vertical.
But yeah, I love the Pirates area in Disney World in Magic Kingdom, like that Spanish Fort style area, and then they have the restaurant as well. Like, it really is just so special.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see too because they've announced that new tavern in California, right?
I don't remember which park that is in, but it will definitely be interesting. Honestly, they need more stuff like it. So, the pirate stuff really is fun, and they even have stuff like that pirate, like hide and seek, treasure hunting.
So it's been announced for Florida, the new tavern in Adventureland. Yeah, I love the way that it's kind of like nestled. Like you've got Jungle Cruise and this and Tiki Room, and they're all just kind of in this area of the park. It's like I kind of love the nostalgic feel of everything in that part of the park. It's just a fun time. Yeah,
that park does a great job with the SEA stuff. Which again, we'll get into next episode. Here's a fun pirate story for you because I love this ride.
Who doesn't?
I've
never met a single person that didn't enjoy their time on this attraction. Everyone has a great time.
Let me tell you about one. So I've got a friend who doesn't ride rides. He gets extremely motion sick.
He must have loved this.
We road tripped down to Disneyland for spring break. And for the most part, we were only there for one day because we didn't want to just leave him out for an entire trip.
That's understandable.
But pretty much we would go on rides and he'd hang out and grab a beer and drink. And so he's
in a Disney park. How?
Let me introduce you to the wonders of A, California Adventure, and B, going to the parks during a festival.
Yeah, it'll do it.
I forget which festival was, but it might have been Food and Wine. I don't know.
But Food and Wine's only in DCA,
what is the? It was in it was in Disneyland. Disneyland festivals. Because it was during March.
I only know the ones.
Yeah, Food and Wine, California Adventure.
I only know the ones that are in Florida.
Yeah, it's in DCA.
We've always got one going. Yeah.
So we started in DCA that day, and then ended in Disneyland because it's open later.
Yeah.
But eventually we're like, okay, we're gonna do Pirates. You're coming on Pirates. It is a boat ride. Like you did Small World today, and you were fine. You should be able to handle this.
I also just kind of love the way that they just reuse that ride system that was made for the World's Fair. Just like, hey, we have a boat ride. Let's do a boat ride. And you want to do a pirate thing, so let's do a boat ride with a pirate thing.
Yeah, we have Great. So we have the animatronics from this. Let's do them here too. But we forgot about the drops.
Drops plural in California.
So we go in. We're like, okay, great. You're gonna be fine. We do the first drop. He's like already pissed at us because of this first drop. And we're like, sorry, we forgot.
Did you warn him at least that there was another one coming?
No, we forgot about them.
So all I'm hearing out of this is that you're a bad friend.
Oh, absolutely. I am not the good person in this story. But we're like, as we're apologizing for the first drop, we get to the second drop.
And just close your eyes, hold your stomach, and hope everything doesn't end up on the outside.
He legitimately did look like he was about to hurl. He didn't. And for that, well, thank you very much. But
yeah, because like that can get you kicked out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was
would have at least gotten it would have been an interesting story to get evacuated from the ride because your friend hurled in it.
Mm-hmm. It was motion sickness, not drunkenness, which would have been nice.
No, I know.
But yeah, it was one of those moments of
security. Like, you win some, you lose some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's all happening. We're just like, oh god, please just make it through. Please just make it through. And we had a great time on the rest of the ride. But those two drops are. They do just come out of nowhere.
Beer after that drop.
Oh yeah,
like you owed him at least one on that.
So we didn't buy him one after because it was the end of the day. But
you bought him one on the rest of the trip, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a great trip, though. Like, I love Pirates so much. It really is one of the best. I'm shocked we haven't done an episode on any of the movies yet.
I mean, if anyone out there is listening and wants to come on and talk with us about all of the Pirates movies, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I will add it to our list of episodes we will do eventually because they are ones we need to talk about. They're really great movies and really great examples of taking this IP from the parks, bringing it outside of the parks, finding success, and then bringing that outside of the parks IP back into the parks. Like, Pirates has been updated more times than I can count. And
yeah, the fact that people think that the ride is based on the films at this point, one, oh God, we're old, and two, just goes to show how well at least Jack Sparrow was able to integrate into the attraction, or at least from what I've seen on the East and West Coast of North America. I assume that it's the same at Paris and Tokyo, and then Shanghai is another beast entirely.
Yeah, and I like the other
heavily featuring Jack Sparrow.
Like, I love that they call out. They're like, yeah, we had to change some things. Like, they can't be just like chasing women. We're changing the auctioning off women scene to giving pirates rum.
Probably a good thought to put into that.
And Red is great. Red is one of the best designed pirates on the ride. Like,
I did find this episode a little strange of focusing on like, yeah, Red is our only female pirate. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, that sounds like a problem, not a like it's a negative, not a positive, right? Like, there could be more.
Which is funny because like there's definitely. Oh wait, no. Actually, I guess she was with barmaids in that scene. But yeah, there probably should be more. But even said, Red is a badass. So
Great
I'm kind
character.
of okay with it.
Honestly, I know that they're trying to reboot Pirates. That would be the character to focus on, I think.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Like you find just some badass, like Emma Stone or someone to just play a badass Red.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be really fun.
We were supposed to get that
Margot
Robbie one, and then that just ends up falling through, which is definitely disappointing. But I want more pirates just in general. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, love it or hate it with some of the later ones. It's just fun.
Yeah, like those movies are just a ton of fun, and it's great to see. Like we've now seen good and less good adaptations of parks properties into film and television. I think we both overwhelmingly enjoyed both Muppets Haunted Mansion and the new Haunted Mansion, which we will get to at some point with an episode. I'm going to make Griffin wait until next Halloween because that seems most appropriate, and he's going to try to murder me before then, but that's fine. And he got some real stinkers and things like Tomorrowland, which I have tried many times and have yet to finish. As well as that original Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy, which my sister absolutely adores, and I don't understand why.
And you have some stuff that's like very middle of the road too, like Jungle Cruise. Like it's fine, it exists. It's not great, it's not terrible. Or
it's The Mummy. If The Mummy starred Dwayne The Rock Johnson without a mummy.
Like, I understand why they struggle to bring these IP out of the parks. At the same time, I don't understand how this one took off and did so well, and because it is so good. Like I mean, it is lightning in a bottle.
I'd say less lightly. Like for me, it's not necessarily lightning in a bottle. It's more so they understood. Like the films don't adapt the attraction, which I think is what makes the most sense. Even though we both really enjoyed. Like that's the funny thing is like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because Haunted Mansion, the two versions that we really like, stuck much closer to the story from the attraction, whereas Pirates was essentially just, hey, we have this IP called Pirates of the Caribbean. Can we just get Jerry Bruckheimer and Gore Verbinski to make a fucking epic action pirates film with one of the greatest film scores of all time and just have Johnny Depp be this drunk pirate dude and have it make $1 bazillion? Sure, why not?
Even Haunted Mansion, like even the movie, like obviously you're gonna make me wait, and we're not waiting. I'm
gonna try, y'all.
I'm gonna get this out as soon as possible. Hi, Carmen.
I do appreciate you wearing a Marvel shirt. Just FYI. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, the audio listeners are so confused right now.
My wife just walked through the frame in a Marvel shirt. There.
But like even Haunted Mansion, like the story of the actual Haunted Mansion is very much a loose background to the story that they're telling. Yeah. Like, and that's what Pirates does as well, and that's why I think those two are the best we've seen so far. And I hope we get more of that because like these are really great stories that they should tell more of, even if their in-parks characters aren't always the best.
Okay. I just went down a weird rabbit hole because I always do when we're recording something like this. And holy fuck. I did not realize. Did you realize that the 2000 sci-fi adventure film Mission to Mars, starring Tim Robbins, Don Cheadle,
is based off
and Gary Sinise, is based off the Disney attraction?
Yeah.
I did not, because that doesn't track.
The only reason I know this stuff, Mitch, is because I'm currently working on a project about Disney park spin-offs.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just going through because they've got a collection of Disney parks on Disney Plus, and just seeing what was in there. You got things like Country Bears, which is not great, all of the Pirates movies, and then things like Mission to Mars, Haunted Mansion, Saving Mr. Banks, which is a phenomenal film. We should really do an episode on that.
That's I feel like being depressed. Let's watch that movie.
Hey, you want to be depressed? Do I have a film for you? So 13 years ago, this little ditty came out called Toy Story 3. And boy, howdy does that movie hit in a weird way.
Oh, yeah. Okay, one final Pirates
thing. We're going to talk about Pirates, though, right?
One final Pirates thing I want to talk about is just Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure in Shanghai. Because it's just awesome. The technology behind that stuff is just so cool. I want to go ride it. That's really all I have to say on it. I love that this one is fully the movie
film.
It is entirely that. But if the rest of that land of I think it's Pirates Cove is
Treasure Cove.
Treasure Cove, thank you.
I got you. I'm on the Wikipedia. Don't worry.
Like Treasure Cove is the original Pirates. Like I do love that they have that balance there still. And it's awesome. It's fantastic. Pirates freaking rock.
Yeah, I think the technology there is what's most interesting to me, of like the position tracking and what it shows you on the screen, because we've seen similar things used in attractions like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, in the Ratatouille, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, used a lot of this.
Star Wars, what is it?
Rise of the Resistance.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the reason I would want to ride it. I have my concerns with all of these screen-based attractions, and we've seen this over time with something like Soarin'. And I know there's always a 90-plus minute wait for this stupid ride that is not a great attraction. You know, come at me in the comments. I don't care. No, I'm not taking it back. I got stuck on the end of the thing, and I got an Eiffel Tower that looked like it was trying to touch the moon, but the moon was over here and not up there. All right, and I'm pointing to the side versus.
Well, the difference between Soarin',
listening because it's bendy.
The difference between Soarin' and this, I would say, is the eye tracking. It is the motion tracking with the ride vehicle, which I think.
Did you get a chance to ride Remy's when you were in Florida?
I did, and it was great.
It was, but anytime there's a screen involved, I worry about the longevity, because ultimately, you know, film technology and projection technology will surpass what's being used in the parks today. And that's what leads to a lot of this iteration on what's in the parks. Either they'll have to update the tech that's in there, update the screens, the recording, the resolutions, whatever it might be. Otherwise, I worry it ages over time. It doesn't quite keep up. I think Soarin' when it opened was that, oh my God, this is incredible. How is this going to be a thing?
See, I think Soarin',
we've seen other things do it better.
Soarin' in Battle for the Sunken Treasure have this, or I guess Soarin' more than any other one has this issue where it is real life, whereas Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is all animated. It is animation. Yeah. It is very stylized because of that, and I think that plays to its advantage in that kind of stuff.
I'm really glad there's an episode later this season on Epcot, because then I can just talk all about my COVID day at Epcot, but also that attraction, which is great.
It also gives us an excuse to talk about the new Defunctland video.
There's a new Defunctland video?
Yeah, it came out today as we're recording.
Oh my God, I know what I'm doing after we finish recording. We're not recording tonight, Griffin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. We should wrap this one up, though. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. We will be back with more episodes of this. And then, of course, Percy Jackson. After that, go check out all of our other stuff. Remember, we are a weekly show here. We're also try to be an every other week show on the normal show, when we remember to put things up.
We get there more often than not.
We got
the holidays coming up. We might want to record a few to get into the bank. Remember last year when we talked about Die Hard? That was fun.
That was a good episode. Go back and listen to that. There's not a video of it. That was well before we did the YouTube again. But
let's just get Steve and Brad back to talk about Die Hard again.
2.0. Go check out all of our other stuff. We are here. We are there. We are everywhere. Mitch, where can people find us?
At D+us and all the places: YouTube, Twitter, X, Insta, Talk, Tix, all the places.
All right, and go to our TikTok and flame Mitch for him hating Soarin', because I'm clipping that out.
It's not okay unless you know where you're sitting and ask specifically to be put in a section where it's going to look good. What is the point in riding the ride? I'm sorry.
All right, folks, we will see y'all in the next episode. But until then, have a magical day.
Soarin' sucks.